Hi, and welcome to part 2 of Cinchy's Data Collaborator series of videos. For this part, I'll be playing the role of Alex. The second part of the Data Collaborator series will cover the methods of changing views of data, such as sorting, filtering, how to freeze and unfreeze rows and columns, and display columns and link display columns. Let's get started. I'll be playing the role of Alex, a member of the sales team. Alex has been asked by Parker, the head of sales, to confirm whether the records in the contacts table are correct and up to date. Parker wants Alex to import new data into the contacts table, but would like to ensure the existing data is accurate before proceeding with the import. I'll start by opening the contacts table, and I'll click on the All Data view. I'll start by doing a quick scan through the data to ensure there isn't anything glaringly incorrect with their records. I'll do a quick sort on the company column to ensure that all contact records have a company assignment. I'll click on the column name. I can see they're now in alphabetical order. I also have the option to do reverse alphabetical order. To do that, I can just click on the column again. I do want it in alphabetical order, so I'll just set it back. I'll do a quick visual scan to make sure there are no records where the company is missing. Looks good to me. I want to quickly sort the contact names alphabetically as well. I'll click the name column. I can see that I lost the sort on the company column. I want the table to be first sorted alphabetically by the company, and then sorted by the contact name. To get the sort ordering, I'll click the sort button. This will allow me to choose the columns I want sorted in the order in which I want them sorted. I'll go ahead and select company from the drop-down list. And now change the position so company is the first sort criteria and name is the second criteria. I also have the ability here to control if I want to sort in alphabetical order or reverse alphabetical order. Great, I'll click apply. Just what I was looking for. I can see my companies in alphabetical order, but now I can also see the contact names alphabetized based on company. Now that I've validated that there are no contacts without a company attached to them, I want to ensure that the active field in each record is accurate. I want to display the company's active status as well. If the contact is active, but the company is inactive, then there's an error. The company status field is in the companies table, but that's no problem. Since we have a link connecting the companies table already, we can easily display any column from the linked companies table. I'm going to click Display Columns. To display my additional column, I'm going to click Add a Column. I can choose to display any system column, any column that isn't in the current view, or a link display column. System columns such as created by, and modified by will show you who created or modified a row and when. We can also see the version of the row and more. Since the companies table is linked through the company column, I'm going to click on the arrow beside the company to expose all columns in the companies table. Here's the column I want to display. I'm going to click on the active column. Great, it'll now be in my display, but at the farthest right side of my table. I want it to be beside the active column in my table. I'm going to click on the 4-bar icon here and drag and drop my column where I want it. Perfect. This will help me to look at both fields to ensure there are no discrepancies between the active status of the contact and the company. The last thing I'd like to do is remove a few display columns that I won't be taking a look at, and that would only make it more difficult for me to review the significant columns. As a reminder, all changes made to the view using display columns will be temporary, so no need to worry about permanently deleting columns from a view. I'd like to remove language preference as all contacts currently in this table have English as their language preference. I'd also like to remove communication preferences and notes as they're not relevant to my review. Now I'm going to click Apply. Great, now I can see the company's active status beside the contact's active status, and I can no longer see the language preference, communication preference, or notes columns. I'm going to do a quick scan to make sure there are no contacts which are active without an active company. Perfect, there are no contacts that are active without an active company. Now that I've validated that there are no contacts without a company attached to them, and there are no contacts that are active without an active company, I want to quickly validate that there are no duplicate contacts for any given company. Since there are a handful of columns between the company column and the name column, I'm going to do a quick freeze of the company column so that I can see company and name side by side without having to remove any more columns from my view. I'll right-click on company and select freeze columns. As you can see here, I also have the ability to freeze rows in a table. And just like that, the columns are frozen. Unfreezing rows and columns is just as easy. If you need, you can always go back and right-click on the column or row, and the option to unfreeze will be available. Now it's time to do a quick scan to see if there are any contacts replicated in the table. Looks good so far. Oh, it looks like this record is duplicated here for Greg and Gregory. I'll remove one of the records, but before I do that, I'm just going to add a comment to the record saying that I'm deleting a duplicate record. Time to get rid of the record. I'll right-click on the record to delete the row. Oh, looks like there's another one for Patsy's record. I'll do the same as I did with Gregory. I'll leave a comment, and now I'll delete the record. Great, now the table has no errors and is ready for the import. However, the table has change approvals enabled, so my delete requests are pending. The head of sales will need to approve the change requests before the records can be deleted from the table. I have one more thing to take care of in the contacts table that Parker's asked of me. Chris will be going on maternity leave in the new year, so I need to assign her current clients to Carson, who will be managing her accounts in her absence. I'm going to do a quick filter on the table to find all of the contact names that are currently assigned to Chris and change the relationship manager to Carson. I'll go ahead and click on the filter icon next to Manage Data. From the Add a Column drop-down list, I'll select Relationship Manager. I'll leave the filter criteria as is to Contains, but I do have the option to change that criteria with a wide range of selections from equals to does not contain or ends with and more. And I'll enter Chris in the value field. Now that I'm here, I think I'll also filter on just active contacts. That way, I only see contacts that are active at any specific organization. I'll choose active is equal to yes as my filter criteria. Perfect, I can click apply. Here are all of Chris's active contacts. I'll change Chris to Carson now. Now that it's done for the first contact, I'll just copy from the first record to the other records by clicking on the bottom right corner in the Relationship Manager field and dragging down to the other records. In Cinchy tables, you also have the option to use Ctrl-C and Ctrl-V to copy and paste. Now my change requests are pending, and the head of sales will need to approve my changes before the changes can be saved in the table. Once the changes are approved, Chris and Carson can begin the transition process.